Okay, then. So this one is our third practical. The objective of this practical is to carry out digitization and editing of data from georeferenced images of topographical maps. Okay. So in this, basically what you are going to do, you are going to perform the georeferencing operation over here. The requirement for this practical is we need QGIS software and a georeferenced topographical map. So basically first we need to understand what is mean by digitization. Okay. So So on the screen you can see the G44P50, this topo sheet. We have done the georeferencing of this topo sheet in the last practical. So if you see this topographical map, and if you want to perform any analysis like what is the length of road, what is the area covered by the river, can you do any such type of analysis on this sheet? The answer is no. You cannot perform any sort of GIS analysis on this data set because this is simply an image. It is a map, scanned map. And if you want to do any analysis, you cannot perform directly on this one. What we need to do, we need to extract the data from this one. We need to extract road or river or urban settlement, anything like that. So suppose I want to calculate by using some tool, I want to find the length of the road. Right now we cannot do that thing. Yes, the scale is given and we can do that thing manually, that we can measure the total length of the road manually and later on convert it with the help of scale. But if you want to perform this analysis to be done automatically with the help of GIS, in that case you cannot perform anything like that right now. Suppose you want to find out the area that lies within 100 meters from the road. Again, you cannot do that analysis. You cannot do this type of buffer analysis right now because you do not have a separate road. It is simply a drawing in front of you of road and all the other things. So for this purpose, what we need to do, we need to perform the digitization. Okay, we need to perform the digitization. We will learn in detail about the digitization process and theory section, but for the overview purpose, if we see the digitization, in the earlier time period, there was a digitization table. Okay, there was a digitizing table, and the operator need to pin the paper map on that digitizing table, and that digitizing table is connected with the computer. I will show you the diagram of that one. You can see this thing on screen, that there was such type of digitizing table. Okay, so operator basically pin the map on this digitizing table or place the map with the help of sticky tapes, And then with the help of a cursor, you can see that there is a cursor in the hand of operator. So basically she is doing the digitization on this table, and this digitizing table is connected with the computer. So this is how the digitizing, one way of digitizing is by using the table, like such type of table. Okay. But nowadays we do not do such type of digitizing. Most of the time we perform the heads up digitization. In this case, what we are going to do, we have that image, we have the map in front of us on the screen. So on your system screen, you can see the topographic map, and you need to perform the digitization with the help of this map only. Now, if we see how to perform the digitization, for this purpose, the very first requirement is the shapefile. Okay. So for each and every spatial entity, okay, we need to make a shapefile. Now there is a term spatial entity. In GIS, the very basic spatial entities, if we consider, then there are three types of spatial entity. One is point, second is line, and third one is polygon. Any example of point, any example of line, any example of polygon? Any one of you?
Road is road are an example of line.
Okay.
Then for if we want to show a forest cover by using polygon, we can represent a forest, and for road network and railways or metro line, we can use line feature. And point is like bus stop. If we want to show the bus stop, post office, all this we can show by using point.
Yes. Okay. Good. So this is how we will define point, line, polygon. Basically, in simple terms, when there is just a location, anything that doesn't cover any area, and there is just only a location, in that case it will be a point. Like suppose electricity pole. If you see the electric pole, it just only has a position. If you see any lamppost, if you see any um, anything that just have a location and doesn't cover any area, in that case it is the example of point. Okay, like religious places, well, and other things, whatever are there, they will come under the point. Second thing is about the line. So obviously, if you see anything that has a length, okay, that has a length, and it is called a line. And basically the correct term is polyline over here, because when we say a line, it means a simple straight line with just two pair of coordinate. But in this case, what is polyline, or in general we used to say the term line. So line is basically an ordered pair of coordinates. Okay. So there is an ordered pair of coordinates over here, and they will get connected. So you will represent line by a road, road by a line. Okay. Similarly, there will be a railway line. That railway line will also be represented by a line. And if there is, suppose there is any electricity cable or anything like that, all will be represented by a line. Then polygon, like in this very map which is open in front of you, you can see the river can be represented by a polygon. Forest can be represented by a polygon. The administrative boundaries that you will extract later on, it will also come through polygon. This is how all the spatial entities which are present in front of you, they have to be represented either by a point or by a line or by a polygon. It depends upon the scale. Okay. Like if you see the world map, then the city, the New Delhi will be represented by a point. Okay. But if you open some district map, the same area will be, the same point will be represented by the polygon. It depends upon the scale whether something will be represented by a line or by a polygon. Similarly, the river, right now in front of you at the scale of 1:50,000, river Ganga is represented by a polygon. Now, if you take a map at 1:1 million or 2 million scale, in that case, the river Ganga will be represented by a line. So it depends upon the scale that we are working on. On the basis of that, anything will be represented by a point or by a polygon, or it can be represented by a line or by a polygon. Okay. So this is about the digitization, a simple overview of digitization. And when we need to perform the digitization, the very first requirement is the shapefile. Okay. What is shapefile? Shapefile is a file format. Like for the image, you were using JPEG file format, GIF file format. For the document, you are using doc or PDF or something like that. Okay. Similarly, when we need to store the vector data, when we need to perform the digitization, majority of time we go for the shapefiles. So shapefile is the name of a file format. Okay. Now, write down this term shapefile in your copy. Initially, this shapefile format was given by the history. That's why at some of the places you will find history shapefile format. But nowadays, majority of vector data is stored in the form of shapefile. Remember one thing, there is no gap between shape and file. This is a single word. This is a very common mistake done by the student, that they place a gap between shape and file. So there is no space between shape and file. This one is a single word, shapefile. Now, when you create a shapefile, okay, with the help of the shapefile format, you can save the geometry as well as attribute of geographically referenced feature. And when you create a shapefile, there will be more than one file. Like if you create a doc file, if you save something in MS Word, in that case there will be a single doc file or docx file. But in case of shapefile, there will be 3 to 5 files depending upon the software and other things. First one is .shp. As you can see on the screen, write down all these 5 file format that are given on the screen in your copy. .shp, .shx, .dbf, .svn or spx, and .prj. Here .shp is used to store the geometry. Okay. Whatever geometry you are making, .shp will save the geometry of the feature. .shx will be used for the indexing. Okay. So you do the indexing, like in the book also you will find an index page. Here also we need to index the features while doing the digitization. For that purpose, this is .shx file. .dbf, when you create a shapefile, you will associate the attribute with the features. So .dbf will save the attribute. Then there is .sbn or spx, the file that stores the spatial index of the feature. And finally, there is .prj file format. .prj file that stores the coordinate system information. So these are the different file formats that are created when you save a shapefile. Remember one thing, I will repeat this thing again later on, but remember one thing, that whenever you are copying any shapefile, this is a common mistake, that you will copy only .shp file. Okay, like suppose if I ask you to copy this shapefile from one system to another system, sometimes student just only copy this .shp extension and leave the others. So if you do this type of thing, your file will not get open. Whenever you are copying, you need to copy all these file formats. Okay. So remember, if you want to transfer your data from one place to another or to send anywhere, copy all the file formats from SHP up to .prj. Okay. Digitization, it is already explained to you. So let's see how to do the digitization in QGIS. First, I will explain you through this PDF that I have already shared you on the MS Teams. And later on, I will also demonstrate the same thing on QGIS. Sometimes there is a lag between the audio and the screen presentation. That's why it becomes difficult to explain the things during the laboratory session. So that's why I am first explaining you through the PDF, and then later on I will show you on the QGIS also. So what you need to do, so first thing is you need to open your georeferenced map. There is no problem in that one. What you will do, you will go to the layer, go to the add layer, and go to the add raster layer. So map is the example of raster data. So with the help of add raster layer, you will open your topographic map. After that, before starting the digitization, we need to set some of the options, some of the variables for the digitization process. Okay? So for this purpose, what you will do, you will go to the setting. Okay, you will go to the setting, and inside the setting you will find this option. Now let's see what will be there in the option. So when you go for the options and go to the digitizing tab, here you can find that there are some of the options which are given over here. Rest of the options are not of much use, or later you can check according to your requirement. But this particular thing, snapping, which is given over here, this is very important. Okay. What is a snapping? Snapping means when you move a cursor towards any point or any line. So if you place it within the snapping tolerance limit, it will automatically get connected to the existing point or a line segment. So that's why snapping is important. Otherwise, your lines, your polygons will not get connected with each other. So we need to set this snapping, and for first you need to check enable snapping by default, and then you need to set the snapping tolerance. Usually we set 10 pixel for the snapping tolerance. Otherwise you can decide it by yourself, but 10 is sufficient. So you need to check on the enable snapping and set the snapping tolerance 10. Search radius for vertex edit 10. Okay. So this is how you will set the snapping options over here. So this is one thing that you need to set before doing the digitization. You need to open your georeferenced map, and second thing, you need to set the snapping. Okay. Now let's start the digitization process. For starting the digitization, first thing is you need to create a shapefile for that thing. Like suppose for the topo sheet that you were using, this is the topo sheet that you are using, and in this topo sheet you can find several points. Like there are the religious places that are given by the point: temple, chhatri, church, mosque, Eidgah, tomb, grave. Okay, these all are the different religious places that are given by the point. So one of the feature can be point. Okay. Second, you can see the hut: permanent, temporary, tower, antiquities. So these are again represented by a point. Okay. So then there are trees, palm and other trees, all are listed over here, and you can see different symbols for that one. So when you are going to create the point feature, you will create the shape file for each of one or each of these things. Like you will create a shape file for tree, you will create a shape file for religious places, you will create a shape file for hut. What you need to do, go to the layer, go to the create layer, and inside the create layer there is an option of new shapefile layer. Now select this new shapefile layer. When you open this new shapefile layer, there are some of the things that you need to enter. First thing is file name. Okay, what will be the file name? File name will be the name of the feature, like religious place, hut, tree, well, whatever you are doing, whatever feature you are digitizing, you need to give the name of that feature over here. Then geometry type. Geometry type can be a point, it can be a line, it can be a polygon. So if I am doing the digitization of well, certainly the geometry type will be a point. Okay. After that, the next thing is that you need to set the coordinate reference system. So here EPSG 4326 or WGS 84. If you remember, you can see over here, projection system is UTM, datum is WGS 84. Okay. There is the another name of WGS 84 is EPSG 4326, European Petroleum Survey Group, EPSG 4326. Okay, both are the same thing. Whether you are saying WGS 84, it is another notation that in which we express the data. So here you can see EPSG 4326, WGS 84. So if you want to add some attribute with that well, like with the from the well, you want to associate the information of depth. Like suppose if I am doing the digitization of temple, sorry, religious places, then I want to associate the type of religious place, whether it is a temple or it is a mosque or it is Eidgah or any other thing. So you need to associate all these attribute over here. Okay. Later on in the next practical, we will learn in detail about the attribute data and about the handling of attribute data. So you can give some name, depth, anything related to that one over here. And if you want to give more than one attribute, you can add, you can simply give the name and click on add to field list. So this is how you will create a shapefile. After that, you will start the digitization process. How? You can see that there is this tool. This is called toggle editing tool. There is a pen over here. So when you click on this particular pen, automatically the digitization process will start. And what you need to do, you need to zoom in properly. Okay. You need to zoom in properly in the topographic map and then click on the points where the wells are located. So whenever you make a click, automatically the attribute details will come like that you need to enter its ID, you need to enter its depth. So this is how the digitization of point will take place. Okay, I'm not going to the line and polygon. First is about the point digitization. Got it? If there is any confusion, I can repeat the whole thing. Is it okay? Will you perform this whole process by yourself or do I need to repeat this thing again? सबको समझ में आ गया कैसे करना है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then start the digitization of point. Open the topo sheet and start the digitization of point. You need to create 3 shapefiles for the point: religious places, tree, and hut. And within each of the shapefile, you need to digitize at least 20 features. Start the digitization. I am available over here. And whenever you face any confusion or any problem, just unmute yourself and ask the question. all of you create a shapefile of religious places. Although you need to create 3 shapefiles: tree, hut, and religious places. So first of all, create the shapefile of religious places and then start the digitization of religious places. I'm giving you 15 minutes for this task and then I will start the digitization of line.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, when we start digitizing it, then a pop-up icon comes that is named as religious places, feature attributes, and ID we have to provide. Then what we can give at this place?
Please repeat the last line.
Ma'am, at the time of filling the ID,
Mm-hmm.
when we point the cursor at the place of religious places, then a
Yes.
pop-up icon comes to fill the ID. What we can give at that and this?
Yeah, IT can be like, like it's like enrollment number that we are getting or roll number in the school. Similarly, to identify any of the object, we need the ID. And later on, when we perform the database related thing, in that case, the ID will be useful. Or simply, you can give 1, 2, 3, 4. So,
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
हेलो मैम। हेलो मैम। मैम।
हेलो मैम। सुमित।
यस सुनील।
जी मैम, फीचर एट्रीब्यूट में क्या फिल किया जाएगा मैम?
फीचर एट्रीब्यूट में आप उसका टाइप उसमें ऑलरेडी आ रहा होगा, उसमें आप नेम डाल दीजिए। ठीक है, नेम उसमें नेम डाल दीजिए, तो उसमें टेम्पल मॉस्क जो भी आपका है वो आप उसमें ऐड कर दीजिए। एक कोई स्टूडेंट पहले भी शायद पूछ रहा था, अरुण आप पूछ रहे थे?
यस मैम।
हाँ पूछिए।
मैम इसमें जब एट्रीब्यूट का जो टैब ओपन हो रहा है, इसमें आईडी और हाइट हर क्लिक पे मांग रहा है, तो मैम सब में सेपरेट ही इंटर करना पड़ेगा कि सेम वैल्यू?
आप इसको यहीं पर एंटर कर सकते हैं, लेटर ऑन भी ऐड किया जा सकता है।
मैम ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं ना कि हर बार अलग ही ऐड करना होगा? अगर
नहीं, आईडी तो हर एक की अलग होगी, आईडी सेम नहीं होगी,
मैम जैसे
आईडी यूनिक होती है।
मैम मैंने जो ट्री का लेयर क्रिएट किया है, तो उसके लिए तो मैम आईडी ट्री के लिए तो सिर्फ एक ही आईडी होंगे।
नहीं, आप इसको जैसे बताए ना, एग्जाम्पल दिया आपको, जैसे रोल नंबर है या आप लोग का एनरोलमेंट नंबर होता है, वो हर एक का इंडिविजुअल होता है, आप उसकी हेल्प से उसको आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं। इसी तरीके से फीचर को आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए आईडी दिया जाता है, इस कारण से आईडी सेम कभी नहीं होता। आपके जितने फीचर होंगे सबके अलग अलग आईडी होंगे, यूनिक आईडी दिए जाते हैं।
ओके मैम। और मैम जो सेकेंड वाला टैब है मैम, इसमें हाइट लिखा है समथिंग, तो मैम वहाँ पे क्या एंटर करना होगा?
आपने हाइट डाला होगा, इस कारण से हाइट आ रहा होगा।
मैम उसको ब्लैंक छोड़ सकते हैं?
छोड़ दीजिए ब्लैंक, कोई वो नहीं है। आईडी डालिए, लेकिन हाइट नहीं डालना चाहते मत डालिए। I think so. Point digitization of at least one of the feature has been completed by you. Anyone has any problem? Any difficulty in doing the digitization? Okay, then now I'm moving to the line digitization. Okay, how to do a
Excuse me,
line digitization?
ma'am. How I'm not able to identify trees in this, ma'am.
Okay, I'm just zooming in. Okay, you can see on my screen, you can see this green color circles, tree-like structure.
Which one?
All these green color. This green. These all are trees over here.
Okay.
Now just leave your work and see how to do the line digitization. Okay.
मैम
Yes.
मैम जैसे इसमें लेजेंड में जो रिलीजियस वाला है मैम, जहाँ पे टेम्पल है, चर्च है, मॉस्क है, तो मैम जब इसका लेयर बनाते हैं तो मैम जब भी पॉइंट देंगे तो सबके लिए अलग अलग मेंशन करना होगा, ये टेम्पल है तो T1 या चर्च है तो ऐसे कुछ करके।
You need to add one of the attribute. Okay? You can add the attribute type. So in the type, you can write whether it is a line or a point or whatever it is. Okay, now, whether it is like a mosque or whether it is temple, whatever it is. For the creation of road layer, same process will be repeated. You need to go to the layer, then create layer, then new shapefile layer. In the new shapefile layer, add the name of the file, like I'm writing it road. Okay. And then geometry type. There is a point, multi-point, line, polygon. So I will take the line over here. Then EPSG 4326 WGS 84 is already coming. I'm taking one of the attribute name. I will write the name of the road. Type will be text, length, I think so 30 character length is sufficient. After entering this name and length 30, I'm clicking on add to field list like this. Okay. And then okay.
मैम इसमें प्रिसीजन एंटर नहीं करेंगे लाइन के लिए?
If you are using the decimal value, in that case, you will add the precision and other things. For the simple text data, there is no need to add the precision. Some problem in my software. Okay, just wait a minute. There's some problem coming in my software. I'm going to restart my system, so I will get disconnected for a while, and then I will try again. I do not know why this error is coming today. Just wait for 2 minutes. I'm restarting the system. Yes. So my screen must be visible to you. I have added the road shape file over here. Okay. Now, how to do the digitization of line? So first thing is you need to properly zoom in. Okay. So this is a zoom tool available over here. So first thing that we are going to do is we first properly zoom in. So there are several roads over here. So suppose I have decided to do the digitization of this particular road, this particular horizontal road that is going across the district. Okay. So this is important because if you do not zoom in properly, in that case the digitization will not be correct. Okay. So do a proper zoom in like I have done this much. Now where do I digitize? Because as you can see on the screen, this is not a line. It is not a simple single pixel width line. Is it here? No, the width of the line is of 4 or 5 pixel or more than that. So in general, it is suggested to go for a central line digitization. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to go for a center line digitization. The process will be same. Go to the toggle editing. Okay. Go to the toggle editing and click on add line feature. So as you can see over here, when the toggle edit is not enabled, nothing is coming. Okay. So once you press the button of toggle editing, the rest of the button become activated. So since we are doing the line digitization, therefore you need to click on the add line feature. Now you can see how the cursor is getting changed. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to place the center of this cursor at the center line of this row. Okay. Are you getting this? What you need to do, you need to mark the points. And this cursor is connected with the last point which is marked on the row. Okay. So you need to do the digitization this way. You need to mark the points continuously. So when you are marking the point, take care about the shape of the road. So if the road is straight, less number of points need to be marked. And if there is a lot of curves in the road or any other feature, you need to mark large number of points so that the proper shape of that feature will get captured. Okay. So this is how we are going to do the digitization like this. किसी को कोई चीज समझ में अगर नहीं आया उसको तुरंत पूछेगा, ठीक है? So we need to very patiently mark all the points. Okay. आपको बस यही चेक करना है कि सही से मार्क हो, इस रोड के बाहर ना जाए. जूम इन अगर अच्छे से करके करेंगे ये मार्किंग का काम, तो उस केस में कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगी. और सपोज आप इस तरीके से मार्क कर रहे हो और आपका हाथ हिल गया एंड गलती से एक बाहर पॉइंट डिजिटाइज हो गया, आप क्या करोगे? आप कुछ नहीं करोगे, वापस से सही जगह पर आ जाओगे. ध्यान रहे आपको केवल सिंगल क्लिक करना है. देयर इज ओनली single left click while marking all these points, and if you do the double click, in that case the digitization will get ended at that point. So make sure that you are doing just a single left click from the mouse or just a single click by your touchpad on the laptop. With the help of the scroll keys, you can move left and right without any problem. So this task of digitization needs a lot of patience. Do not do this digitization task hurriedly, otherwise it will get, there will be several mistakes over there in that case. You need to mark all these points very carefully, especially when the road network is very dense like this area. I'm just going to digitize this whole road. So many times you will face some confusion whether to move left, right, or like there are two roads coming. So you need to check carefully whether this road is going towards the left or towards the top side. I'm stopping my digitization at this very place. Okay, otherwise it will take a lot of time. So when you are doing the digitization like this way, just keep patience. Make sure your hand is very stable. You are not clicking outside the road. And whenever there is a curvature or something like that, mark larger number of points at that place. So when you want to end the digitization, just do a double click like this. Sorry. Just do a right click like this. So I need to write the ID like 1. So this is how my road is created. Now there was one error. At this very point, you can see that there is a spike. Okay, so this one is the error during digitization. How to resolve this error? Now, what you need to do? Yes, vertex tool. So this one is the vertex tool over here. I'm going to use this one. Take the vertex tool and place it on the digitized line. And I have gone to that point and press the delete button so that the point which was marked by mistake, it got removed and automatically it is placed properly over here. Okay, so this is how you will do the digitization. Once you have done the digitization, you can click on the toggle but editing again, and it will ask, do you want to save the changes to road layer? So click on the save. This is how you will perform the digitization of a line. Is it clear? Please confirm, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So start
Yes,
the
ma'am.
digitization. start the digitization at your end. We will do the polygon digitization in next turn. So today you have done the point digitization and the line digitization. Abhijit? Abhijit Sonkar?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Abhijit. Share your screen.